Hey everybody, it's Mark from Neeldejig. Welcome back to Let's Talk Tattoo. Today we got a special guest here from the San Francisco area. We have Miss Britt Naami, and she kind of specializes in some really fine line black and gray work. And I've been admiring her work for quite a while. So let's let's try and get to know this young lady a little bit. Brittany, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm fantastic. Woke up. It's the way I look at it. I wake up, it's a good day. So you're right downtown San Francisco, or are you in the area?
I'm in San Francisco itself. Yeah.
Okay. Very, very cool. Only been out there a few times before. Went out to spent some time out there with Lyle years ago, swing by the shop, stuff like that. But haven't really been there on a casual basis. It's always been the work. Dennis Dwyer and JD Crow did a show out there, oh man, way back. And that was in the 90s, early 90s, I think, that I went out there for that weekend. Back out there to visit Lyle one time and go up to his place in Ukiah. But that's it. That's my entire experience with San Francisco. So how long have you been there?
I've been here for like 11 years now. So yeah, I've got to know the city pretty well. I have a great like client base out here, so it's treating me well.
Okay. Are you from that area or born somewhere else?
Yeah, I was born in New Hampshire. So I moved out to the Bay Area when I was 15. I'm 30 now, so I've been in the Bay for 15 years.
Okay. So you're originally from near me up here in the Northeast.
Wait, are you guys in Massachusetts?
Yeah. Yep. I was born in Massachusetts and then moved out to Arizona for about 15 years because tattooing was illegal here at the time I started. And then we moved back here to bring our kids back close to family because my wife's from here also. But how long have you been tattooing, Brittany?
I've been tattooing 5 years, and yeah, I started my apprenticeship like 7 years ago. So yeah.
So you have a pretty traditional apprenticeship. Were you responsible for learning most styles of tattooing, or have you just kind of specialized in what you do since the beginning?
I learned a little bit of everything, I would say, but my mentor primarily did like fine line black and gray as well.
Okay.
And the way that I like drew just kind of lent itself really well to that style and anyway. So yeah, she was definitely like the perfect mentor for my style of drawing.
Okay, and seeing how you're a younger tattooer, well, at least younger than me anyway, did you learn on coils at all by chance, or did you go straight into rotaries?
I did learn on coils. Yeah. I was jonesing to pick up a rotary though. I can't lie. I was like, oh, I need that in my hands. I started with like only using a 7 round liner.
Okay.
For everything. And then that was on a coil. And I saw my mentor's work and it was just like so beautiful. And she primarily used a rotary with a 3. And I just like really was jonesing for that. So I was excited when she gave me the approval of like, okay, go ahead and get started on the rotary.
Okay. Did you learn how to build or tune machines too, or just how to operate it?
I like dabbled. I am very much so like not a technical person at all whatsoever. Like definitely like true and true like artist. So like none of that ever clicked. Like so yeah. It seems very difficult when things go awry with the coil to like figure out how do I get this back on track because it sounds crazy.
Yeah, it's an entirely different ball game. It's like, you got your creative mind and then you got your logical mind. To work on tattoo machines, it takes a lot of the logical mind. So luckily, you guys don't have to do that, worry about it so much today. But I kind of get curious, like, because a lot of people come in and they don't even experience coils at all. So at least you've had that experience where, you can understand. Did you love them? Did you hate them? Too heavy, too bulky, what's your opinion on coils? And nobody beat her up in the comments, okay?
Very. Honestly, they were fine. Like they weren't too heavy. Nothing like that was wrong. It was just like when things went wrong, like when it started just acting wild. I can't even really describe it. It just like something was wrong, and there's like a million things you have to do to figure out what's wrong. And that definitely puts like a damper on the session, I would say, because you have to stop and like evaluate things. And there's already so much going on with tattooing. I feel like I don't need that like additional element of like, okay, what's wrong with this? I want to rely on my machine like to be 100% for me at all times.
Well, for somebody that didn't come up with, through the age of coils, I guess that's a pretty accurate description, because yeah, you have things go wrong in the middle of a tattoo and you have to stop and adjust, rebuild, swap machines, sometimes, grab different needles. There's the troubleshooting process was quite a bit. And you're right, it impairs the artistic, the little bubble we put ourselves in while we're tattooing. It's a big disruption to that. So I gotta say, I do agree with you. A lot of my old-time friends would probably be mad at me, but I prefer rotaries for a multitude of reasons. There's some jobs a coil does and does better, but for the most part, I like the convenience of the rotaries and the cartridges myself these days. Maybe I'm just getting old and lazy, but so anyways, what enough with that. What is your artistic background? Just a child that drew a lot? Do you have any formal training? Where does this come from?
Yeah, totally. I definitely was that kid who was like always drawing. Since I was like a little kid, throughout school, I was definitely like the girl who like drew a lot. So I always loved that. And then I ended up going to college, and I really didn't know what I wanted to do. I just kind of went like, okay, we'll figure it out. And then I majored in art. So I got a little bit of like, I guess we dabbled. It was like a wide variety of like artistic things that I did. But yeah, I guess as I was approaching graduation of college, I was like, I really don't want to be like an art teacher. I don't really know what I always thought of tattooing, and I was like, this seems really cool. I'm really interested in this, but I just like don't think I fit the mold of like what a tattoo artist is. And for a while, that really like prevented me from picturing myself as someone who was actually doing that. But yeah, approaching graduation, I was just like, I should give myself a shot here. Like I should go for it. And I did, and I'm so happy I did.
Okay. Now, were you already collecting tattoos on a regular basis prior to that, or?
I was, yeah. I got my first tattoo on my 18th birthday. And then just kept getting tattoos from there. And I think that's kind of what showed me like, okay, I'm seeing more like women get into this. Like it's not the same as it used to be, like where it was like kind of a lot of people who look the same. So it kind of just opened my eyes to like, this is possible for you. And yeah, so.
Yeah, no, when I started tattooing, there was a few really strong women in the industry, Patty Kelly, Judy Parker, I'm gonna not try and name them all because that's about it. My brain will not allow that, because I'm in a different place right now trying to talk to you. But for the most part, yeah, there was limited women in the business, and the ones that were here, pretty tough women, to be honest with you. And so I've been observing over the last 30 plus years the I don't want to say illusion, man, my brain's not working quite well, but the vision of what a tattooer is,
Yeah,
or compared to what it used to be, it's definitely become more artistic. Yeah, it's not just old gruff bikers anymore, which is cool.
yeah. Yeah, nothing wrong with like that vibe either. Like that vibe's awesome, and that vibe like enticed people to get tattooed or like to get into this industry. But yeah, it's nice to see that there's like a lot more diversity nowadays. And like, yeah, if someone's passionate about art and they really love like creating and they really love people, like that seems like a good fit for this industry, because it's all about like being with people and like making art on them. So you shouldn't have to like own a bike or like
the way I kind of look at it is like you said, diversity within the artists is really cool, but it's necessity. Okay, because you have diversity within your collectors. Okay, so you don't want people to have to come into an environment where they might be super intimidated or even scared like they would be in the old days. So, I mean, big brawny guys don't have a problem walking in any tattoo shop getting a tattoo, but somebody who's a little more feminine, delicate, or whatnot, trying to go into an old school shop, they would more than likely opt out back in the day. They just it wasn't so much of an option it is nowadays. Nowadays, I mean, I almost think there's too many tattooers, but that's just the group people in me. But to be honest with you, it's nice that people can find the tattooer that's going to suit them best in the style, in the demeanor, and just so many different other ways. It's fabulous. So.
Yeah.
So what's the shop like that you work at out there? Is it street shop? Is it custom only? Is it a little both? What do you do?
I love the shop that I work at. It's called Gold Leaf Ink. It's an all-female shop currently. We've had males work here, but just right now, it's just like all women. And it's all like custom work. We don't do walk-ins just because everyone's pretty much like able to like basically have a solid booking. So it just tends to work out best that way. So yeah, we have a really good vibe going though. Everyone's like friends, everyone super chill, really nice, no drama at all. So it's dope.
Very cool. And again, I didn't do the homework on the shop or anything like that. So you're like right downtown San Francisco?
Yeah, we're on Market Street, which is like a main street here. So yeah, we're out there.
Okay. And just while I'm thinking about it here real quick, plug the shop and your Instagram again, just to for the viewer. We'll put it below too.
Yeah, my Instagram is Britt Naami, BrittNaami, and then the shop's Instagram is Gold Leaf Ink.
Okay. And you plan on staying in San Francisco? Are you ever going to come back to the Northeast, or is all your family out there now?
Yeah, no, I totally miss the Northeast. I really miss like all the nature. Like, yeah, of course, like California has beautiful nature too, but like, yeah, New Hampshire had like a bunch of trees and like little bodies of water everywhere. It's gorgeous. So I miss that. But I don't know. Life's pretty good here in San Francisco.
You're a city girl now.
Yeah.
Well, I drove through a snowstorm to get here today, so don't.
Amazing. Thanks for making it.
Okay, so like, do you do any large scale work? Most of the stuff I see on Instagram is, just smaller individual pieces. But you have any large projects going on? Is that what you like to do, or do you prefer to focus on the little stuff?
Good question. Okay, so like this month actually, I started 3 sleeves and 1 leg sleeve. So I feel like I'm entering into like a new era of like larger work, because now I'm like, wow, I have like all of these like people who I am like working on. It feels like my little babies just wandering around the world for me to continue working on. So that's cool. It definitely is intimidating because I'm like, I really have to make this come together. And it's a process. It doesn't look great as they are right now. So it's a little scary in that way. I like the smaller work because I can really nerd out on the details and like make sure it looks like as cool as I can make it right then and there. So that scratches my itch of like, oh yay, that's cool. So I'm excited to see how like the big projects feel in the long run.
They're fun for a while.
Really?
I enjoyed it. I've got my share of sleeves, leg sleeves, back pieces, things like that out there. But I found over the years that I prefer the small stuff.
Cool. Yeah.
Just it's well, and again, it's a different era now. Clients probably a little more dedicated now, but back in the day, you'd have people disappear, for months, years, in the middle of projects, and it's hard to continue something when artistically you're on a different level. But I don't know. I just found I prefer 1 to 2 sessions tops, and That's just my preference, but just depends on how dedicated your clients are.
Do you mean like when you're artistically on a different level, do you mean like basically when you're working on a sleeve or something and it's been so long since the last session that like your kind of art has shifted a little bit?
Well, yeah, and as an artist, your abilities, your skill set, your vision changes over time, and so somebody comes in that you haven't tattooed in a year or two with a piece that's half done, you have to kind of mentally regress or try to mentally regress back to that, because my brain looks at it and goes, oh my God, I can't believe I did that. I could do it so much better today. And I want to rework the whole thing, start the whole thing over, or not look at it at all if I'm that embarrassed. Probably not that bad, but you know, that's just how I look at it. So that's I like I said, I got a little I became a little bit of a curmudgeon on that, I guess, where just like, you know, because you tattoo long enough and, you know, people are selfish, you know, they lose their jobs, they move away, they go to prison, they die. I mean, it's just inconsiderate of them. So, but, you know, it's just, you know, it's like, I don't know, I just prefer the small stuff and whatnot. But what is your favorite subject matter? I mean, you do a lot of nature stuff, floral stuff, animals, but your still life. I I don't see an actual like genre you focus on. So, but if you could do one thing every day, what would it be?
I would probably say castles. I
Okay.
really love castles. I think there's so much like ways to make that creative, ways to make that really fun. And it's like both like feminine and masculine. So like it's for everybody really. Yeah, I think that anything kind of magical with like a magical undertone
Okay.
makes me feel really happy when it's done.
I'm bear with me. I'm trying to bring up your Instagram here one more time, just while I'm thinking about it. But
Good. I feel like I haven't done a castle in a hot minute, but yeah, those are definitely fun.
I was just
to Europe to check out castles.
I don't. Something I thought would lend itself to your style quite a bit would be like filigree work. Do you do a lot of filigree work?
I love that. I think it's so beautiful. I have never like had anyone ask for it. Um, but yeah, I absolutely love like how flowy that is, and it's also kind of like I don't know. It's less like it's less like well, I don't know. I guess it has like some hard edges too, which I really like. Like it
I-
has the flow of botanicals with also some hard edges that you can really define. It's really beautiful.
I'll just always love filigree
Never
work.
done it, though.
It's in my brain, and I couldn't remember if I had seen you do much of it or not or whatever. And I've got a couple friends that are tattooist machine builders that have gotten into engraving over the years, like the hard engraving of the filigree, and that just lends itself to what you do quite a bit. So maybe you have to force some people into that.
Cool. Yeah, totally. I like that idea. I'll look into that a bit. Yeah.
Just start drawing some, stick it on your walls, stick it on your Instagram. I'm sure people will bite on it for sure. Um,
Yeah.
like back in the day, I used to do a lot of Celtic work. I really enjoyed Celtic work, and I had the patience to tattoo. And a lot of people didn't, or they despised doing the Celtic work. But I used to like the attention to detail that was required for that. So
What style do you tend to like focus on nowadays?
me,
Yeah.
paying the bills is what days really. I mean, I don't barely tattoo at all anymore. I only tattoo friends and family. Occasionally, an artist will ask me for a little bro tat or whatnot, you know, a little commemorative whatever, and I'll do that. But my hands don't allow me to do much anymore. That sounds like a bag of broken light bulbs, and
All of our futures, right?
yeah. Well, I mean, again, back to the rotaries, I think you're going to have a little bit better future than I did. I have ganglion cysts on both thumbs. My tattooing hand wrist is beat to heck. My stretching hand always hurts worse than my tattooing hand. So big sessions are kind of out of the question for me. If I tattoo for 4 or 5 hours, I'll be hurting for 4 or 5 days. It's like just be very uncomfortable. So that's just part of aging, whatever. But like my days, I try and spend just running the business, trying to think of new things, innovate new products, do what I can to stay active in the business, and because I still love the industry. I'm still passionate about the industry, whatever. I will tell you, I do miss tattooing on a regular basis. There's times when I wonder if I should just pick it up and subject myself to the pain, but yeah, we all got to move on some time.
Yeah, I respect that.
Yeah, you're the first person that's asked me that. Nobody cares about me.
Yeah, I'm actually a big question asker. Like when I have a client or something, I'm always like asking them a ton of questions. So I figured like doing this podcast might be a little different because I'm the one being asked questions, but I still ask you.
I'm pretty much an open book. I will talk about anything you want to talk about. I'm versed in a number of different subjects and have a lot of knowledge. So I like it when I will say younger people want to consult or ask me questions or anything like that. I try and do what I can to give back to the business whenever I can. So
yeah, cool.
That's probably my biggest role at this point in time, which goes back to your original question. I started doing seminars on needle making and all kinds of fun stuff like that. So it's great to work with and per se mentor the younger artists because my other participation is limited. So yeah.
That's awesome that you do that though. I mean, it's great to just like share your knowledge and, want to give back to the community like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, do what we can anyways. I had some really good old timers that took me under their wing and shared and mentored me throughout the years. And because prior to that, I didn't have an interest in sharing with other people at all. It was, I was of the mindset where it's my secret. Even if somebody else shared it with me, now that I know it, it's mine. You can't have it. Don't. But that's the way the industry was back in the day, and it probably still would be if it wasn't for the internet. The internet has kind of pulled back the cloak, and then everything's pretty seen now. Even though a lot of it's misinformation and bullshit out there, but for the most part, there's a lot of good information out there.
You know what I think has been really helpful for me in terms of like info? I'm on this Facebook group. It's called Tattoo Shop Talk. I don't know if you've heard of it.
I have heard of it. I'm not sure if I'm a member or not. I have to be a member, I think, because it does show up on my feed. So send it to be somewhere along the way.
Yeah, that's been really helpful actually. Just like if you have a question, you can just like post it in there and like more than likely, someone might like clown on you or whatever, but like your question will get answered. And yeah, I like the little online communities that are available to us now. I'm also on this group called Fuck Your Critique. And that one is really dope. Because you can just post your work and just get some true, honest feedback. Because of course, like your coworkers love you and they're like not trying to like shit on you, right? They're not trying to like, really give you a real heavy critique. But I mean, sometimes we need that just to like kind of keep ourselves grounded and like keep ourselves aware of how our work is actually coming out.
See, I have to warn people when they come up and they hand me their book or their phone and they're
yeah.
I'd be like, okay, I'm not the kind of guy that's just going to try and suck up to somebody because I don't think anybody's super special in the business. I don't think anybody's super special on the planet. I think we're all relatively equal. And if you're asking me my opinion, that means you probably respect my opinion. And to give you anything other than my real opinion, I think would be deceptive. So like, I'll be like, okay, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm not going to be mean with the intention of being mean.
Right.
But I'm gonna point out the things that I see that I think need improvement or are straight up wrong or whatever. And and I'll be like, and you'd be amazed how many people will be like, so like just giving you a warning, so you want to take your book.
Really want to read these edits or I hear ya. for sure. It's like,
People do like actual portfolios anymore. Everything's on a tablet or on a phone. We're like, so but in the old days, I tell people, you might want to go back and rebuild your book before you give it to me because, I'm not going to be mean, but I'm not going to be kind. So,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
now, and it happens a lot at shows. People drag me over to their booth and go, "What do you think of my work?" I'm like, "Do you want me to tell you in public?" You're like,
Your client, like, I don't know. Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Are you doing conventions? Do you travel? Do you do guest spots? What do you do?
I do travel. Last convention I did was the Long Lived Tattoo Convention in Tahoe.
Okay.
That was really fun. It was a smaller convention. I think it was like 200 people. But yeah, it felt more like intimate than the other convention I did, which was Villain Arts in Chicago. And yeah, I really liked like the intimate setting because I could actually talk to like each artist. I like went around and was like, "Hi, I'm Brittany," and like just got to know people. It was really fun. And then this year I'm gonna be doing Literary Ink in Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Okay.
And then there's one in Vegas that I'll be doing too, but I forget what it's called. But it'll be fun.
All right. Well, anybody that's watching these in those areas, get a hold of her and maybe set something up there. But yeah, prior to COVID, we were doing, 24, 28 shows a year. We were doing all the Villain Arts with Troy loved me to death. And then we used to do a few small shows. But I stopped doing all the shows when COVID started. And I just in the last year started going back as an individual, just me putting stuff in the truck, driving out to some of the smaller shows. And like you said, it's way more personal, way more, it's not as lucrative for me. Obviously, it's hard for me to make money in a place with less tattooers than the big shows, but I really enjoy the passion. It's they're just to get money. They're there to do what we used to do at conventions in the old days, which was hang out, share experiences, share ideas, share art, do stuff like that. So I love the little shows myself.
Yeah, definitely.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to more conventions. I won my first award at like this last one, and it was just like a really good feeling. And I'm just gonna chase that dragon a little bit.
Just so you know, that race is often, I won't say fixed, but it's always biased.
I know, right? But it's all good. I feel like whatever, like you might as well just like throw your hat in the race. What do you have to lose?
Well, okay, kid, I've judged a ton of shows or contests and whatnot over the years, and I've participated and I've won awards and all that. But it's like the way I've always looked at it is you win as soon as your client is willing to get up and show off your work. That's when you win. That's what it is. The trophy doesn't mean anything. If there's prizes, it doesn't mean anything. The big win comes from the pride that you can take and the pride your client has in getting up there. But unfortunately, it's like everything's biased because like you have a group of artists. We can't all agree on anything at any point in time, right? And what might be the better image may not be as technically correct as this one. And it's just, I'm not saying it's like really bad, but it's like there's always reasons to second guess the winners and to think somebody else wins.
Totally. I'm like definitely not into like even second guessing the winners because I'm just like, who knows, man? Like, I'm not gonna shit on anyone else's work like just because I don't love it or whatever, or like whatever. It doesn't mean that they shouldn't win. Like that person just got something really amazing for themselves. Like we should just be happy, for them. But you really think they're all like fixed? Like, do you think a lot of the competitions or whatever are like fixed?
Well, if there's a big name entered, the judges kind of want to suck up sometimes, or it's like I said, I don't think they're rigged, but they're always like sort of biased one way or the other. But everybody should just enjoy them. But unfortunately, I've seen some really nasty reactions and behaviors from people. But again, I mean, you got to remember, I've been to hundreds and hundreds of shows. So it's just, you're going to always, just the law of large numbers. You're going to have bad experiences anytime you have enough experiences. So, but overall, I enjoy it. Most people are good about it.
Right.
Yeah. So what did you win for? I'm going to have you share a picture so that we can pop it up here later and do a little bragging for you.
Sure. I won third place, best of the day. Which felt really dope that I got anything at all, to be honest. Like I did. Yeah.
Best of is a tough competition.
Yeah. Well,
it is.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's cool because I think like a lot of the competitions are like you can enter healed work, right? And that's why they do like the best of the day, right? Because that's just like you did it at this convention, whereas opposed to the other competitions, it's like you can bring in work you did whenever, which is interesting because it's like, damn, like what'd you have to do to get that client to like show up here? They were just like that cool about it. Like, yeah, I'll come to the convention. It's interesting.
The newest thing I've seen, a couple shows I did last year where they had like best of show was the promoters were giving up huge cash prizes, $10,000 for best of show. And you got people, coming into the show and their client, a 3-day client coming in, spending thousands and sitting all week. And I'm like, that is getting a little insane. But, for the most part, I guess it's good. I guess it's good for the industry, but I don't know. I just feel bad for the clients having to sit for 3 days and then heal for weeks afterwards and getting their immune system beat down. But
there was this one person getting tattooed at the convention I went to in Tahoe. They were getting tattooed by 4 people. And the 4 people like were entering for best of show. But the piece was like from their rib cage, like down to their thigh. And it was full color. And I was just like, damn, this person is dying. Like 3 days in a row of that. Like, that's crazy as hell. I was like, he must have to be on like some kind of pain medication right now or something. Like,
people do it both ways. I've seen people do it drugged up, and I've seen people just sit like rocks on natural. They all get my respect, even the guys that need the medication. But I hate getting tattooed.
I couldn't do it. Yeah.
So, you got anything coming up? I mean, we talked about your shows or whatever, but what else does Brittany do besides tattooing? Like, what are your hobbies? What are your dreams? What are your aspirations?
Like hobbies. So I've been doing yoga every morning. Starting January 1st, I made a resolution to do yoga every day. It's been my New Year's resolution, like pretty much every year for like 5 years. And I like kind of just like don't do it. But this year I'm actually doing it, yoga every morning, right when I wake up. So that's been really beneficial. And it does feel like something that feels very like fun, grounding, good for like my physical health and mental health. So that's been really nice. And then I also like to do tarot. That's something I'm learning more about. Beyond that, I like to go out for drinks with friends. I like doing karaoke. I
think a lot of us are looking at our own personal health a little bit more. Me, because I'm getting older, obviously, but whatever you do now is going to give you more longevity in the business. I just last year started running again. Been running for a full year again. Last summer, I started lifting. So I run 2 days a week. I lift 2 days a week. And yoga is the next one on my list because regaining some flexibility would be super cool. But I
think you can like taking your health more seriously for sure. I want to start lifting too because I feel like I need the strength part. Like, I've got like the flexibility, that's fine. But like, I think we do need kind of like a cocktail of like ways to keep ourselves healthy. But I have like a little yoga thing that I do on YouTube that I'll send to Gabe. and he can send it to you. I've recommended it to a couple people and they really love it. And you can just do it at your house. Easy. Yeah. If you want to try it.
Right. Yeah, no, I don't want to do anything every day. Like, I don't want to lift to get big. I don't want to run to do marathons. I don't want to do yoga and meditate every day.
Right.
But if I just have these like little series of things, and it's like you said, it's good for the mind. It's a good physical release, but it's a good mental release, and I don't know, stability. I don't know how I want to.
I think like when you're working out or doing something like physical, it kind of just like shuts your mind off. So you're just focused on like the challenge of the physical thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's healthy in and of itself to just kind of be in a little bit of a meditative state, for a little bit.
That's me running. I'll usually pop in a podcast or some motivational something or whatever, and I let it run in the background, but I don't hear it because I'm focused on my breathing and I'm focused on my
background noise, basically.
Yeah. And it's like, and I probably absorb it, but I don't listen to it. But I'm just focused on my breathing and my actions and listening to my body for a good hour and a half straight, because I feel more in tune with myself. It's silly, but it works for me. So, it's like, everybody's got to find their own little path to sanity. So
that's true. We're finding it.
So what do you got planned for today? It's early there for you right now, but you got a full day or what?
No, today is my day off. So after this, I'm going to probably get a massage and then call my mom. I haven't talked to her in like a couple of weeks, so we're just going to catch up.
No, yes, you have to do that because I'm sure she's not happy about that.
Yeah, I'm going to tell her about, past couple of weeks and just hear about what's going on in her life.
All right. Anything else you want to share? Any last minute ideas, questions for me? Don't want to keep you here all day long, but but you got any questions for me now that you got me here on the phone?
Sure. Let's see. I don't want to say what's one piece of advice, but what advice do you have for I guess the younger generation of tattooers to have long, successful careers?
Stay humble. That's about the best advice I could give you within the industry, outside the industry. I have tried to stay humble throughout my day.
He's like,
there's been times when I have not accomplished that. I rose pretty high in the ranks for a while, and life has a way of humbling you on multiple different areas, either business wise, financial wise, mental health wise, whatever. But I think if you can focus on waking up in the morning, being grateful for the fact that you did wake up in the morning, and just be humble and be aware of how other people are going about their day. My wife is constantly reminding me that you don't know what somebody else is going through. And that's one thing I've never been conscious of, because too many times I've been too concerned about myself, my family, my business, my everything. And as I get older, I find myself trying to pay more attention to other people and help where I can, because I can, not because I feel obligated to. That's about it, really. It's a little thing.
I love that. Yeah, that's great advice. Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
What advice you got for an old guy like me?
Well,
because we can all learn from each other.
Yeah. I mean, I would say just keep being open to sharing information. That's really awesome that you do that. And I definitely have things I want to learn in terms of just styles of tattooing and everything. I would love to pick your brain sometime about that.
You can always reach out to me. And the other little bit of advice I would give people is anything you want to learn in this business, approach somebody who's doing it successfully. Just invite yourself into their world, and just politely make your own introduction. And I see way too many people that come in and they're intimidated. The clients can be intimidated, but even younger tattooers can be intimidated by successful tattooers, and there really is no need for that, because if the artist is truly successful, they're going to be respectful to you, and if they won't pay you, if they can't take the time to be respectful and take a moment to be with you, they probably don't have anything you want to learn anyway. So for the most part, that's the way I look at it. People can be really talented and shitty humans, and that happens sometimes. But
yeah,
right, just go after whatever you want to learn. You want to learn color realism, go to chase somebody down like Nico Hurtado or anybody else out there. Yeah, you really want to focus on detailed black and gray, grab a guy like Tom Renshaw or Bob Terrell or whatever, like make it a point to go somewhere where they're at a show and just introduce yourself. It's easy enough.
That's a really cool point. Yeah, I like that. Cool.
All right.
Yeah.
We good?
Yeah.
Is this weird, or what'd you think? I know you're not.
It actually felt like a bit more fluid than I thought. And yeah, I think you did a good job at like guiding the conversation. I didn't feel like there was any like weird jumps or anything. So yeah, it was a bit more chill than I thought.
Well, it's like I've always said, I try not to do any formal interviews. You didn't get a list of questions. We're literally going to sit here, have a conversation, hopefully enjoy each other's company, and show the world that we're just normal people.
Right. Sweet. Well, thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for joining us.